right there, which is a carriage. It's made out of plastic, so it's mostly there to kind of keep water from splashing up, things like that. You hit a curb and stuff like that, it wears down. Check something. Trying to block it right there with that. There it is. Or stabilize. See it? Friggin' Italian. If you're afraid of these Italian mafioso thing, it's all gonna end. That's all Francis Ford Coppola making a big mess, and Martin Scorsese throwing a fit. He should have stayed a priest. Coppola should have went to art school or stayed in the wine business. There's no mafia. It's a myth. All that Breaking Bad stuff is fiction. Godfather, fiction. It's all fiction. These are just people throwing fits. It's all fiction. It's not real. It's fiction. They don't exist. They're just family organized people that throw fits, complain a lot. The Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines could take all of them out in one day. Okay? So don't worry about it. There's nothing they can do. The reason I say that there's no mafia is mostly because of social media. You have a social network, completely destroy the mafia overnight. There's no mafia. They get busted. There's no mafia. There's no Breaking Bad. There's no chemistry teachers out there mixing methamphetamine. None of that's real. The mafia didn't exist. It died out in the 70s when the casinos got bought out by Disney. There's only white people, and they're all in control, pretty much. So just remember it. See? All right, so it's break time. Hi as hello. I'm standing right here behind Chick-fil-A. You can see the catering right there. And the reason why they do so well as a company is they're compact. Very small business, but they're big business. But the buildings are usually very small and compact and circular when you go through. So you go through one direction, you come around, you get your food, and then you leave in another direction. So everything is very like clockwork. And think of a very high-functioning hot dog stand, you know. It'd be cool if Chick-fil-A does hot dogs. That'd be cool. They only do sandwiches, and they do waffle fries, and they've got like lemonade drinks and things like that. But they're not like a chicken place like KFC where you can get like a ton of chicken, and that would be cool too. But the size of the place would increase. Like Chicken Express, KFC, all those restaurants are larger. You can go in and dine. You can go in and dine at Chick-fil-A, but it's very compact. So you're thinking a very compact store, small building, nothing impressive, signs mediocre, impressive, you know. So everything's about cost effectiveness and small. But yet that alone, because it's so small, a small thing can become very, very large, very quick, because it's cost effective. It doesn't cost them a whole lot to operate with a smaller building. Now, if it's a big building, there's more air conditioning and things like that they have to deal with. So the smaller the building, the more likely the business is going to succeed. So if you're trying to open a fast food place or even any type of restaurant, you want to use a small building. You want to use cheap. You want to try to find a theme and make it cheap and quick. McDonald's was hamburgers, small hamburgers and French fries, right? They're like very fast paced. They had like a quick factory line kind of thing where they're making these French fries and hamburgers very quick. It's like a very quick service. So you had this team that was set up in a way that was everything was very quick and easy, and it just goes down. That's how business thrives. If you have a larger building and you have too many items, then you get worn down. So you want to keep it very simple, like sell one thing. There's actually a true story about these two millionaires. Actually, I think they became billionaires. They sold popcorn on the streets of New York City. And what they did was they bought the popcorn kernel and they spiced it all up. So it wasn't just regular popcorn. It was like a spicy popcorn. So it had spices on it and it popped and it had a flavor. And people wanted that popcorn rather than just regular popcorn. And all they had to do was buy the kernel, which was cheap. Then they popped it, they put it in bags, and they sold it. Now they're billionaires. It took them a while to work their way up, but they just had a little popcorn stand. They could pop it right there, sell the popcorn right there on Wall Street, and people kind of liked it. And it sold and sold, and they bought more kernels, and they only sold popcorn. That's all they sold. They were very clear, just popcorn. And they still sell popcorn today. And they're all the way from California. I have a 3D version of this right here. There it is. 3D version. No, that's a 2D. Okay. That's 3D right there. That's supposed to be 3D. Yeah, you can kind of see it. This is a 3D version of the map. They're the only ones that have it right now. Mapple. These apartments right there are called the Taj Mahals. It's like in Fort Worth, not too far from Central Market. Off Merrick, like John Merrick. I'm not an animal. I'm just a human being. Yeah, we're headed towards Camp Boo to find some gasoline. We're all the way from Utah. That's what the Utah plates look like.
Two.
Right there in front of us.
I know.
No, Utah.
It's two.
No, Utah. It says
Yeah,
U27.
Two people. I know Utah. Yes.
Oh, she got all wooey.
No. My worker was like, "My pleasure. Have a good one."
Yeah. That can happen. You got to be careful.
Well, she's just like, "That's mine. That's mine." Like a little kid. I'm like, "Please wait your turn." That's how. You know what I did?
Another shirt that was red though.
Did
another shirt. Oh, La Madeleine had a red shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you know what I did for the school rush?
What?
All I did was one person hands a bag to another person. That person hands the bag to me, and I hand that bag to somebody else. That's all I did.
Yeah, they're
Same
like
bags.
they're a real tight team at places like that. They've got a small building. A lot of people driving around. You got to wear those like reflector things, you know. You got to wear a reflector band.
I liked it. I was fast. Hopefully they
Yeah.
can keep me doing that. I don't want to be stuck in a roast.
This is a really cool area though. They've actually have a place where you can play music inside a house, and they actually pay you money. They don't pay you a whole lot, but you can make tips off of it. But the guy like runs this music studio. You can actually play live. People will show up. It's about the size of a living room, but you can still make money. You know, it's like you get a tip jar kind of thing. A friend of mine from Brooklyn played there. Got to find out where it's at. Oh, by the way, if John Dyer's watching this, what's the address to that place in Fort Worth where you played your little concert back in the day? Anyway, this is John Dyer's work right here. This is some of it. So I'm playing Fort Worth at this place I'm looking for. This is some of it right here. Some of his artwork, and an exceptional guitar player, and a great singer, and also just a great musician. He plays many instruments. He works with a really good friend I know named Lake Simons, who is, they're pretty much a family. But anyway, I saw them, and I saw him perform in Fort Worth. Just wanted to throw this in the middle of the edit. It was when you, it was like 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, there was a house somewhere around here off of Camp Bowie that you could play music in, and you could also make tips. And he brought his music down from Brooklyn and played there. His name was John Dyer, but I know him. He's got an album. He's got a few albums, but he plays there live and stuff. He's really good. He does that thing where when you play on the instrument, you basically it can repeat itself. What? Where? Oh, the place. Oh, okay. You said the place, though, right? I thought you said something else. Okay, never mind. Anyway, it's you can play the music and then it repeats itself. Like it's called a repeater. Have you heard of that?
Yes, repeater.
So if you're gonna like Mary had a, and then it'd go Mary had a little, and it would repeat. You can do it vocally or you can do it on your guitar. It echoes kind of. So you play one riff and then you play another riff and then it echoes on top of it. A lot of musicians do it now. It's real popular. I think Elliott Smith did a little bit of it. Oh, it's right here. Roy Pope. It's a delicatessen, butcher, wine, beer, and coffee. It's a grocery. Is this what you're talking about?
Yep.
They're kind of small, though. They do accept frog bucks.
Whatever frog bucks.
Yeah, I wonder what frog bucks are.
Oh, that's TCU.
TCU money.
Oh, interesting.
It's called frog bucks.
They have red light.
I wonder if it's like Apple Pay, but it's only through TCU. So that you can actually buy your groceries here and you get points.
I heard their sandwiches are way overpriced and they're dinky.
What, the sandwiches?
Yeah, they're like $12 for like a sandwich like that. I don't know. That's
At Roy Pope?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
Well, they take TCU money. So whatever frog bucks
All
are.
right, we'll go in separately.
Well, I mean, hang on. Let's say something. Roy Pope is the name. Right. So just go ahead and go in there, and then I'll go in
You think
next.
he's Italian?
Yeah, he's probably Italian.
It's been around since 1947.
It's Pope. Just go in there, and then I'll go in there next. So you go in first, and just kind of walk around, get the interview, and then I'll go in. I'll start kind of vlogging the place silently.
hurry up because I'm hungry.
Mine's just Coca-Cola. See? Okay. What I was talking about this the other day, this thing right here. So this one goes to the right one, right here. So yeah, it goes up into this thing right here. So that's what broke today. So I had to take an early timeout. But I'm not going to use this trunk, only for alcohol. And then I'll put everything in the back right here. You see all the bags right there. So it's just too much to deal with the trunk. Right now until I get it fixed. It's about $30 to fix it. I can install it myself. If they got interior music on it, then I'll probably have to turn it off. Mostly wine, really. It's just a couple of apples and wine. Pretty much an alcoholic strain. Well, they got pizza though. Kill the buzz with some pizza. TCU party right here. You get these little Shine Bar mini kegs. Not as big as the other kegs, but still, you know, party of about maybe like 10 people. Or one, if you're Chris Farley. This is great right here. It's called a Joy Pope, but it's actually called Roy Pope. Oh, this is great. Yeah, this place will do very good. They got all of this stuff right here. Your late night snacks. If you're up and studying, you know, TCU or whatever. Get some Tony's chocolate. It's good for you. Little patio to sit outside right here by the cactuses. You have lunch like pretty much like right here. Delicatessen and butcher. Really nice. I never even knew it existed. It's called Roy Pope. It's a grocery. You got cheeses, wine, chocolate. Get some muffins. Never even heard of it before. They do accept what's known as TCU frog bucks. So if you go to Texas Christian University, they even have a sidewalk like right here out in the front for your dog or whatever. I don't know if dogs are welcome, but you can do it on the patio. Probably bring the dog on the patio. So I guess it's a big deal. I guess they're advertising frog bucks. I've never heard of them. Maybe they're points or something you get for studying or something. They give you like money. And there's some kind of weird cow. This is very interesting. Meet Hope. Like hopeful in Pilgrim's Progress. Remember, he's the one who travels to the river of death. He goes with hope. He goes with hopeful. Hopeful. That's a sign. See, Faithful didn't make it. Faithful got executed in the town of Vanity. So he had to go with hopeful. Hopeful is what he crossed, the river of death, with hopeful. Maybe he met hopeful at Roy Pope. Or maybe they just, you know, maybe they met somewhere near that. Pretty cool though. Here's the outside building. You can see it's not a very large grocery store, but still pretty nice. Fresh fruit, lots of wine, little cafe. You can get pizza there. And muffins. There's muffins and cookies. If you want cookies, this is a little neighborhood. You just walk right into the neighborhood. You could live like right over here if you wanted to. Get your groceries and walk home. There's some hope in that. Now, they had a famous jazz singer, or no, jazz saxophonist that actually lived somewhere around here, and he played for Naked Lunch. You ever seen Naked Lunch? It was a movie with Peter Weller. He went to University of North Texas. He also played RoboCop. But Naked Lunch is a William Burroughs story, but it's also a movie. And Peter Weller was in it. Very good performance. I don't know, I can't think of the director right now. But somewhere in this area, there was a saxophone player that did the entire soundtrack. So he basically scored the soundtrack to Naked Lunch. He lived somewhere around here. And it was probably my favorite soundtrack when I was in high school. Check out the soundtrack to Naked Lunch. It's a movie with Peter Weller, the guy who played RoboCop. Naked Lunch. I saw it at Ridgely Theater. Don't know where the saxophone player lived. It was kind of, they kept it on the lowdown. But they used him, and he was from Fort Worth. He was a saxophone player, like jazz artist kind of thing. But I had a feeling after I saw the movie that it was somewhere around here, not far from here. Don't know. If you know the information, let me know. But just look on the soundtrack and find the saxophone player, and then do history on the saxophone player and see where in Fort Worth he lived, or if he was passing through. But it made news when I was in high school. It was like a big deal, because I was really into scores, music scores in high school. I'd listen to like Twin Peaks and Taxi Driver, Bernard Herrmann, all that kind of stuff. I was really obsessed with the sound and music of movies. And I went and saw Naked Lunch. I think my drama teacher took me, and my friend who ended up being a playwright. I'm also a playwright too, and I do this vlog stuff. And I went and saw Naked Lunch, and I was like, man, that was the most incredible soundtrack I've ever heard. So we had an assignment in creative writing. We had to take photos of our town, like anywhere in the area. And I took photos of downtown Fort Worth and other things, you know, Cowtown and stuff. Me and this chick named Kate went walking around taking photos. And I decided to show it in the creative writing class. And I used Naked Lunch as a soundtrack. We had to use a soundtrack. We had to show it to music. So we had to show the photos, and then we had to play music at the same time. I think that was the assignment. So it didn't matter the music, as long as you showed the photos to some type of music. And I chose the Naked Lunch soundtrack. Very bizarre, because it didn't quite fit exactly Cowtown, but the saxophone player was actually from Cowtown. He was from Fort Worth, or he had spent some time in Fort Worth, or had played in Fort Worth or something. There's some artwork right here. It's pretty cool. Just sitting there in front of this house. I wonder if this is the house. No, it's not this one. It's a house kind of like this one, though. I'm thinking it might have been. I don't remember the fence, though. It's a place where you can go to play music. I don't remember if this one is it. I don't think so. Something like this, though. This is 5225. They usually have a sign outside. But there's some place, I can't remember the name of the road. Could be that one, I don't know. But you can like go in and schedule time to come in and play like a concert. And he's got like a living room and people can sit on the couches. He serves wine and things like that. And sometimes there's a cover charge, sometimes there's not, depending on how good the music is or how good the musician is. And he also plays music too. He plays harmonica. And I think he sings as well. Don't know his name or anything. I just know because I went to this party and John Dyer was playing at this house, and we just went in and sat down. You could bring your own beer, bring your own wine or whatever. We just sat down and listened to him play. Anyway, so I mixed in some things about Naked Lunch, a saxophone player, and Roy Pope, which is basically right here. Oh, they got pimento cheese.
Hey, they actually have water chestnuts. Do you know how hard it's been to find water chestnuts?
Yeah, water chestnuts are hard to find.